So my husband and I refinanced our mortgage today because interest rates dropped and it was enough to save us 300 bucks a month. However, I have in my hands the amortization schedule, which is how long it's going to take us to pay off said mortgage and how much would go towards principal and interest each month. And I want to use this to talk to you about why home buying in America is an absolute fucking scam and why
It's not a scam. It's it's not a scam. I'm sorry to tell you that it's not a scam. It's only a scam for the consumer, but very profitable for the bank. Very profitable. And the fact that you think it's a scam, here's the thing. All right, if somebody tells me do not walk into that room right there because there's violence and there's so much things that happen in that room, I personally would not go to that said room. But if you go into a car dealership, a bank, anywhere that is predatory lending, you scammed yourself. But I digress. Let's continue.
this will be the last house we ever buy in this country. So, just really quick facts: it's a standard 30-year mortgage. It's a VA loan, so I didn't have to put anything down in order to refinance, and I don't have to pay any mortgage insurance, which is what normal people have to pay when they don't put 20% down.
She's not normal. Okay. I don't know why flexing on other people when you're in a bad situation is.
But because we didn't put anything down, I went from owing $784,000 on my home back up to
So
$795,000.
you're a normal
But
person.
my original interest rate on this house was 6.2%, and now it is 5.6%. We are
Okay. A little education. When you refinance, because she went from a 6.2 to a 5.3, I think if I remember correctly, yeah, 6.3 to a 5.3 is you might save money on interest, yes, for sure. But most Americans do not know that once you refinance, if you've been paying for 3 years, let's just use that as an example, it resets that whole 3 years as if you paid nothing. It resets the whole loan. So you saved $300 but wasted 3 years of payments just to start back from zero. Like financial literacy is important. And we are living in a digital age of information. It's not that hard to search these things up. And then people like her would say it's a scam. You just didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do your homework. That's why you're paying seven. First of all, paying $800 for a house. I don't care what house it is. If I don't, if I'm not worth 3.5 million or 5 million, three times what the house is, I'm not buying that house. But again, let's keep going. It gets better, I guess.
planning on selling this house when my husband retires in 4 years and exiting the US. So, of course, I was interested to see what will I owe at that time in 2030. And at that point in 2030, we will owe just under 750,000. So I will only have paid off $50,000 worth of my mortgage in the next 4 years. But the math ain't mathin' because my payment is $5,700 a month. $5,700 a month times 50 payments is $285,000. And if you look at the schedule, it tells you, oh, yeah, you're financing $795,000. But if you kept this interest rate over 30 years, you're actually going to end up paying $1.6 million. But the biggest scam of all is how much interest they charge you the first year you own the house. And I have other videos on this. I've talked about it. Again, I put myself in this situation. It is what it is. The point is, I'm calling out the banks because they are fucking ridiculous. First of all,
Number one, why would you buy a house and why would you buy an $800 house if you're eventually going to move out in 4 years? And it just amazes me at how of all the bachelor's degree that Americans have and the education, I would say miseducation, right, that they have, and the strong and independent, you know what I mean, like mentality and educated, they don't realize how compounding interest works or how interests actually work when it comes to a loan. And I've talked about this in this channel, Rule 7-8 of banking. For the first half of the loan term, you're paying only interest. So why would you buy a house knowing that in the next 4 years you're going to leave? And then you say I paid $50,000 looking at the amortization schedule. but then you pay $235,000. Why didn't you just rent? God forbid if a maintenance repair comes up, or in those 4 years, property taxes go up. It's not a scam. The banks don't. The banks never lose. They're like the they're like the casino house. They don't lose. These people are mastered in psychology, sociology. Like they have think tanks. They know how human, the whole psyche of a human brain works for a consumer that is uneducated. Oh my God! So I don't. You could have just rented for those 4 years, saved up that $235,000. Oh, okay. I forgot. Renting is a scam. Renting is a scam. Okay.
When you come to closing, we bought $7,000 to closing. They make you pay $3,500 in upfront interest. So not only are your first like 12 payments horrendously just put towards interest, but then you have to bring extra money to closing just to pay interest upfront. Now, I will say this,
Welcome
our
to the
principal and
pod.
interest amount is $4,500, and it's our taxes that are additional $1,000, which is how we get to that like 5,700 number. Our first payment is 11/1 coming up, right? $4,500 payment, only 849 of that goes to principal. And every month after that, only $4 extra of your payments goes towards principal.
You see how this is a, a debt trap. This is this is debt slavery. But you walked in toward the place. Your realtor was talking very sweet and nice. You listened. You didn't want to practice delayed gratification because you're gonna leave in 4 years. You're gonna leave in 4 years. Why pay $235? I still can't fathom that $795,000 house. If she stick with that 30-year loan, it's going to be 1.6. Congratulations, you bought the bank two houses. You got yours, and now you bought them another house. And if you sell, they're still gonna get their money, and you're out of a house, and somebody else will buy it, and the trap goes in for the next person.
My very first payment, $4,500 payment, 3,700 of that goes to interest. So even though over the next 12 months, I'm going to make
278.
roughly $54,000 in principal and interest payments, not including taxes. According to the amortization schedule, I won't even have paid down the mortgage a total of $10,000. And not for nothing. Again, remember, I was down to about $784,000 before I decided to refinance to save money. But 12 months from now, I'm going to owe the exact same amount of money on this house as I did yesterday before I refinanced.
I'm just gonna stop it here. I honestly can't take it anymore. I just wanted to react to this video, not because of what she did, but because Americans don't understand interest. It's like, hey, I borrowed $40,000 or $800,000. Why? Why in 5 years have did the principal not go down? Why do I still owe the same when it comes to student loans, when it comes to car payments, when it comes to being house poor or owing negative equity in a car? Like, like you can also owe negative equity in a house. It might not be worth 795 in those 4 years that she tries to sell it, but she lost $235,000. God, God, God forbid, right? Pray to God that there's no maintenance repair cost. Pray to God that the government does not raise your property tax. You could have just rented. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the reasons why they keep people stuck for 30 years. You're going to be hustling for 30 years, broke for 30 years, all to say I owe a house. To who? My darling, to who are you impressing? The same person you're trying to impress is trying to impress you. It is a psychosis. It is a mental illness of financial irresponsibility. But there are people that are going to look at this video because Americans, or people in America, have this mentality where it's all about individualism. And we talked about this channel. Individualism is the first key ingredient to capitalism because you have no help. You will struggle by yourself. You will get finessed, robbed, and scammed by the banks and car dealerships, all to impress our neighbor Sally with a nice picket fence and a grass. It's just like Like just a common sense. Forget financial irresponsibility. Just a common sense doesn't even make sense anymore. 30-year is a scam. A person that is regular degular 9 to 5er cannot buy a house. Real estate is a business. If you're gonna buy a house, it is a business. Majority of millionaires don't even own houses. They rent because they understand the headaches of maintenance costs and maintenance repairs. Oh, America's a bad place to live in. I just can't live here. It's just too much. I used to be I listen, I didn't have that mentality, but I made bad decisions growing up, bro. I had $20,000 in credit card debt. I paid it. Brother, I paid it. You know what I mean? I bought a car. Luckily, I knew what I was doing and got rid of it and got a 2004 Lexus. And then like 2 years later, got a 2012 Camry. Context matters. But when you look into context of people's lives that come on the internet, bro, they're making bad decisions like this, bro. Why would you pay $235 in 4 years? Like that could have went into a high yield interest savings account. I mean, if you're already getting into interest, you might as well let that money work for you. But then when you dissect and break it down, they're making bad decisions, bad, horrible decisions, and then come on in there to cry wolf, like, come on, bro. And then imagine if she loses her job. And I think on TikTok, I was going through her profile. She teaches. Let's look at her account. I build 6 to 7 figure industry leaders and teach you to unlearn patriarchy or capitalism. You are a victim to capitalism. You are a victim to capitalism, sweetheart. Please let me know your comments and thoughts in the comments down below. Please, 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 please do me a big favor. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. These things truly help the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel and join the journey before we get big, because I'm not stopping. I will be consistent. And we're going to dissect and break down more financial responsibility. If you like my personality and like this channel, help us reach 100,000 subscribers. And yeah, peace. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.